Oh, hello there. You came earlier than I expected. That's alright. You can come in. Take your time. There's no rush here. It's quiet, isn't it? The church feels different when it's empty like this. The air carries every little sound, every whisper. You can sit or kneel, whichever feels right to you. Can you hear me well through the screen? Good. I imagine you were expecting Father Benedict here. He usually takes your confession, doesn't he? Yeah, I thought so. He wasn't able to make it today. There was a small emergency and he asked me to take his place just for this evening. I hope that doesn't trouble you too much. I can hear the hesitation in your voice. You didn't expect a woman, did you? That's alright. Most people don't, but don't worry, okay? The purpose of confession doesn't change. You can still speak freely, and everything you say will remain here. Only you, me, and the quiet of this room will ever know. You don't need to be afraid of being judged. I'm not here to do that. I'm just here to listen and to help you breathe a little easier when you leave. Take a moment if you need it. The world out there can be so loud. Sometimes it takes a bit to let all that noise fade out before we can speak honestly. There. Better? Good. If it helps, you can start the same way you always do. Or if you'd rather not use the formal words, that's alright too. You can simply just tell me what's been weighing on your mind this week. You come here every week, don't you? That says a lot about you. It takes effort to look inward like that, to want to be better. Most people just move on without stopping to think. But you come here quietly, without needing anyone to see. That's admirable. So, when you're ready, you can begin. Whatever it is, I'm here. I'll listen. No interruptions, no judgment, only understanding. Go on. And remember, nothing you say will ever make me think less of you. If anything, I might understand you more than you think. You're quiet. That's alright. Some days it's harder to find the right words, isn't it? Sometimes the hardest part is just beginning. Why don't we start simple then? Tell me how your week has been. Was it peaceful or perhaps a little too heavy? I see that look on your face. You don't even know where to start. That's fine. Let's start with the small things. The ones that seem unimportant but still weigh on you when you're alone. Maybe you've been impatient with someone, lost your temper for a moment. Or perhaps you told a small lie, one of those that feel harmless but still lingers in the back of your mind. You'd be surprised how often people confess things like that. Little things, just everyday things. But it's often those small things that build up quietly until we can't ignore them anymore. I can almost hear you thinking. You're trying to decide whether something counts as a sin, aren't you? That's sweet. It means that you care. It means you still think about what's right, even when it's small. Go on, tell me about one. Just one thing that's been sitting with you. I see. So you said something you didn't quite mean, and afterward, it stayed with you, didn't it? That quiet, guilty feeling that comes when you know that you could have been kinder. That's alright, truly. We all have moments like that. Even I do. It's part of being human, part of learning. The important thing here is that you noticed, that you cared enough to come here and speak about it. That means that your heart's still soft, still awake. You know, you don't have to be perfect to be good. The world often makes us think that we must never stumble, never fail. But that's not how grace works. Grace finds us because we stumble. You can let that guilt go now. It's forgiven. What matters more is what you'll do next time, and I think I already know. You'll pause, take a breath, and speak with that gentleness that lives in you. Because it's there. I can hear it in the way that you speak. There it is again, that little sigh. The one that people make when they finally let a bit of tension slip away. You sound lighter already. Now, tell me, how have you been outside of that? Your days, are they busy? Restful? Do you ever take time for yourself, or do you keep moving until you're too tired to think? I thought so. You push yourself too much, don't you? That's another kind of sin. The kind we commit against ourselves when we forget to rest. When we forget that we're allowed to stop, to breathe, to just exist for a moment. If you only knew how kind you sound when you speak, maybe you would forgive yourself more easily. There, see? That wasn't so hard, was it? You've already spoken more than you think. Let's keep going, okay? Little by little. I'll help you find the words if they don't come easily. All you need to do is let yourself be honest. You're doing very well. I can tell that this isn't easy for you, speaking your thoughts out loud like this. But you're here, and you're trying. that means something. You know, sometimes people come here expecting to be scolded or punished or told what to do, but that's not what this is for. Confession is a way of letting the heart breathe again. It's a moment to remember that you're not defined by your mistakes. If you only knew how often I hear people say the same things. I wasn't patient enough. I should have been kinder. I lost control for a second. It's almost as if we all carry the same burdens, just in different forms. That's what makes this space so beautiful. It reminds us that we're all trying, all learning, you especially. There's something sincere in the way you speak, like you really want to do better, not because you're afraid, but because it matters to you. Tell me, when you leave here after confession, do you ever feel lighter? Even for a little while? Good. That's how it should be. That's how I want you to feel now. Lighter and freer. You've carried so much on your own this week, haven't you? I can hear it in your voice. That quiet weight that comes from trying to be strong all the time. It's alright to put it down here. You don't have to hold everything together when you're in this space. You have a kind heart. I don't say that lightly. It's something rare. Something that I can hear even in the pauses between your words. And it deserves a little gentleness too. So, I'll forgive the impatience, the small lies, the wariness, all of it. But I want you to forgive yourself too. That's the hardest part, isn't it? If you can do that, you will leave here with something even better than absolution. Peace. You've done beautifully so far. Maybe next we can talk about something a little deeper. Something that's been sitting quietly in the corners of your mind. Can you think of anything like that? Something that feels unfinished. Take your time. I'll be right here, listening to you. You mentioned that your week has been heavy. Was it because of work? Or because of people? Yeah, usually it's people. They can make the days longer, can't they? A careless word here, a small disappointment there, and suddenly it all feels heavier than it should. Tell me, when the day ends and you're finally alone, what fills your mind first? Do you think about what went wrong? Or what you wish you'd said differently? Or do you ever think about the people who made you feel safe? So there is someone who makes you feel calm. You hesitated before answering. That means there's a story there. Don't worry, I'm not prying. Confession isn't only about mistakes. Sometimes it's about the things we keep to ourselves because we're afraid to hope for them. Do you see your friends often? Family? Anyone who listens the way I'm listening now? I see. Not as often as you'd like, then. That's a shame. You sound like someone who deserves to be heard. Even your silence feels full. Like there's always something more that you could say if you thought anyone wanted to listen. I suppose that's what I'm here for, isn't it? To listen, not just to the Sims, but to the quiet parts in between them. Tell me this, if you can. When was the last time that you felt truly happy? The kind of happy that sits in your chest and refuses to leave, even when the day ends. That long ago. Maybe that's what you've been missing more than anything. Not forgiveness, but a little joy. You know, joy is not a sin. Even wanting to be close to someone isn't a sin. It's only human. Don't look so surprised. I'm not here to scold you for having a heart. If anything, I'd like to see you use it more freely. Maybe that's what your next confession will be someday. That you finally let yourself be happy. And you're not sure if that's allowed. If that ever happens, I promise that I'll forgive you right away. There, see? We've wandered a little beyond the usual path, haven't we? But sometimes those paths, they lead to what really matters. Now tell me, has anyone made your days a little brighter lately? Someone you look forward to seeing? You can tell me. I won't judge. So maybe not. That's alright. So, no one at all? That surprises me. You speak with such warmth. I imagine there would be people drawn to that. If I met someone who spoke the way you do, so careful and sincere, I think that I would find excuses to be near them. Maybe the world just doesn't look closely enough. Still, it must feel lonely sometimes, right? Coming here every week, talking through this little screen, pouring your heart out, and then just walking away to the silence outside. You said you haven't met anyone lately. Not even someone who caught your attention for a moment. Not one person who made you think, maybe. So even if you had, you wouldn't know what to say. That sounds very human. You know, for someone so shy, you make conversation beautifully once you start. There's something about your voice. It trembles just enough to sound honest. If you were sitting on this side of the screen, I think I will still be able to tell when you blush. Some people give themselves away without even meaning to. It's strange, isn't it? How easy it is to speak here when we can barely see each other. Sometimes the distance makes it safer. Sometimes it makes it harder to stay distant at all. You've told me so much about what you haven't done, but nothing about what you like to. If you could change one small thing, something just for yourself, what would it be? That's honest. You just want to be seen, don't you? Not in a grand way, just noticed, understood. I think more people notice you than you realize. You have a presence, even from the other side of this wooden frame. It's very disarming, actually. You speak so softly now. I can barely hear you. Maybe you're worried that your words will carry too far in the stillness. They won't. It's only us here. Go on, speak a little louder. Let me hear you clearly. I know exactly what you mean. Adult life can be very lonely sometimes. It's hard to find a person who listens, a person that cares about you, a person that sees you the way I do right now. But I will always be here for you. I want you to know that. I want to ease all your worries so you can leave here relieved and filled with joy. Do you want that too? You're speaking so quietly. I can barely hear you. Maybe if I open the screen just a little, so I could hear you better. What do you think? Would you like to see me? Would you like to come inside? I wanna ease your worries as best as I can, and I'm afraid that I can do that unless you meet me in here. What do you say?